Since President Trump took office, and it's safe to say a lot has taken place over these last 2 months. And for more now, I'm joined by KTVU political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, what grade would you give President Trump for his first 2 months in office?
Well,
kind of a loaded question, I know.
That sure is, because he's done some things that he said he would do on the campaign trail.
Right.
For example, his budget reflects exactly what he talked about. That's good. On the other side of the ledger, I think a lot of this tweeting silliness that continues to go on really detracts not only from him, but also from the presidency as an office. A C, for lack of a better grade. Other presidents, came in and the opposition party said, okay, well, we lost and we're not happy with this person, but we're going to give him a shot.
Right.
That happened with Barack Obama. The Democrats in this case aren't going to give Trump any leash whatsoever. They're going to keep going at him.
So with a C grade, what are you thinking that you said a couple things that he's done great, but what do you think he should do better from here on out?
I think he has to become presidential. I think this business of releasing statements and midnight stuff and weekends and that sort of thing, instead of sticking to doing the job of president, really is distracting, and it distracts the American people from the important issues that we're facing, which include things like health care reform or anything else. These are the problems with just running off all the time, trying to fight every fire the way he appears to be doing.
And, I think many would say the beginning of his presidency seemed very chaotic, as we were discussing, compared to, when President Obama first took office. Maybe his first 2 months were a little bit more slow going. The difference, though, you say, is the lack of support for President Trump.
Exactly. I think by his opponents. I mean, he's got a base, and his base was very happy, but his opponents never sort of said, okay, I get it, we lost. Okay, you're the president, we're going to see how you do, and then we're going to come hard at you. They've just gone hard at him because they dislike what he stands for. President Obama had a different scenario, and some other presidents have, where the opponents say, okay, we lost, you won, get going on what you need to get going on, then we'll be the loyal opposition. This is a little bit of a different tenor these days.
Right, and I think, when President Obama was going into office, there wasn't a lot of discussion about, especially during the campaign, there wasn't scandal and unfavorable rhetoric that was, and things mentioned about particular people that were out there for people to dislike President Obama about. So that kind of already hurt Trump going into this presidency. Here he is. He's doing some of the things that he said he's going to do. When it comes to this wiretapping claim by President Obama, obviously we've heard for a couple of weeks now saying, we just have found no evidence to support those claims. How do you think that's going to reflect on President Trump if they say, there's no evidence, this is made up, or whatever they come up with? I mean, how's that going to make him look?
He will have professional spin folks who will spin it, but he already went from I was tapped to a broader, it was general surveillance. What he needs to do is he needs to just drop it and say, hey, it could have happened, but more I hear about it, it doesn't. Now let's move on to the other issues. And until he does that, this is just going to continue to fester. I don't see the end game here for this. And then throwing it off on MI6, the British intelligence folks, and that sort of thing, all that does is upset our British allies. There's really nothing to be gained by this.
It's definitely not going to gain credibility with that kind of claim at all.
No.
All right, we'll have to see what happens going forward. It's just 2 months in. A lot can happen.
And that's the important part of this discussion. He's got a lot of time yet to go.
All right, Brian, always good to have you here with us. Thank you so much.